made for very, very little money. And basically, I took some of my favorite films that I liked at that point, mainly a movie called Rio Bravo, this Western. I kind of wanted to make a modern day version, but added in the elements of other exploitation movies and end up with a song. And off we went. It was actually a good experience in the sense that I had absolutely no interference with anyone. But I had never made a movie where you shot day after day after day. The first film I made, Dark Star, we would shoot a scene and go away and raise money and come back weeks later and shoot a scene and then raise money and then shoot a scene. Well, I sat on the set and Austin and everybody else had been through this, but I hadn't, and I was in complete confusion. Man, this is hard work. Wow. But movie came out in 1976 and did not do very well in the United States, but got kind of a cult reputation over in, it started in England, and here it still is playing. It's unbelievable.
Now, how quickly did the script come together, and was the finished film very close to your original drafts of the script?
The script came together really fast, and some would say too fast. And all we did after the film was done was shoot a little prologue, the prologue of the gang members who killed, just to kind of start things with a bang.
Now, Austin, at what point did you become involved in the project, and had you heard anything of John or his work on Dark Star previous to the film?
Actually, this song gets it. I had not heard about anything about John or the Dark Star film, and I was in a workshop at the time over here in Studio City called Theater East, and Darwin Joston, who was in the film, is one of the prisoners. He was a member. One of his friends recommended me to him, Eldon Quick. And this young man in the workshop came and said, they're doing a film, John Carpenter, I don't know who John was at the time, and I think you would be right for this part. Would you like to meet with John? I said, yeah, why not? And that's how I found out about it. And we had lunch, and they said, okay, you have the job.
I had seen you in movies.
Oh, I didn't know that, you see.
Lots of films, and I just kind of wanted you to be in it.
Oh, okay, well, thank you now. No, I didn't thank you. I thought it was just, I had the right walk or something.
Now, you mentioned Darwin Joston. He's really fantastic.
Yes.
And a lot of the kind of laconic humor and humanity of the film comes through his performance. How did you discover him, and did you realize from the very beginning that he was going to be able to provide that kind of element to the movie?
Well, strangely enough, it's another strange story. I was living in an apartment up in Beechwood Drive, and he was my neighbor in the back. And I discovered he was an actor, and I had seen some of his stuff. And getting to know him, I got to know this side of him. I thought that I could turn into this really bizarre kind of heroic character. And off he did.
And Laurie Zimmer is also really wonderful in the female lead, and she has this kind of amazing, kind of deadpan, very slow, sensual simmer. Was that her in real life, or was that something that you really kind of created for the film?
It was her being a really talented actress. Laurie is a very, very sweet young lady, and she came right in and did the part extremely well. And after we finished shooting, she saw the dailies and hated herself. She thought she was awful. And I said, no, you're completely wrong. You did a great job with this. Because just what you're saying, you're underplaying all this, which is necessary.
Now, because the film was shot on a very low budget and very quick schedule, did you have a lot of time to rehearse with the actors? Especially because a lot of it could almost be a stage play. It's all in this one kind of contained set inside the police station.
We had a read-through, as I remember, in my house. That was basically our rehearsal. No, we come in the mornings and get a quick rehearsal for camera, and off we go.
Now, and where did you actually shoot the film? Did you have any trouble finding the location? The police station that we see here, where was it?
The interior of the police station was a set. At the time, it was Producer Studio. I think it's Raleigh Studios now. The exterior is the old Venice police station. And then just various locations in South Central LA.
Now, you use a lot of kind of, exploding squibs and bullets, bursting out of walls and out of people throughout the film. Did you run into, any kind of danger because you had so much kind of explosive stuff going on, especially in that midsection of the movie?
The most dangerous part of what we did was the full load shotguns. I think there were a lot of us on the crew who had never worked with full load shotguns before, and they're profound. And I remember one scene, I decided I wanted to stand in front of Darwin as he was shooting just to see him, and the special effects guy said to you, "Are you fucking crazy?" He died. Well, I quickly learned, he took the first shot, I felt it, I said, oh my God, what is this? It's amazing, profound. So that was the biggest danger.
Now, you do a beautiful setup to the film where everything is kind of very sort of still and calm, and then you really shock the audience with the murder of the young girl. Was there ever any question from any of the producers, anyone outside, saying, "Hey, you're killing this beautiful little blonde moppet"?
We never crossed that bridge until we came to rate the movie with the MPAA. And they said, unless you cut that, we're giving you an X. So I went to the distributor and said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, I'll just cut it for their print and we'll just release it regularly. So that's exactly what we did. We cut their print, they watched it, and they said, oh, this is great. And as I shot it.
I don't hear anything about this.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also edited the film as well, even though I don't think you're credited as the editor on the picture. It's a pseudonym. Why was that?
It was to give somebody the idea that I had stolen a lot of the ideas and feelings from Rio Bravo. John T. Chance is the character that John Wayne plays in Rio Bravo.
And how hard was the editing process? Was there a lot that was left out, or was it really kind of bare bones and everything that you shot was up on screen?
Pretty much everything. There's actually one shot in this film that I hate to say is cut out of frame. What I mean by that is we shot in Panavision, which means the entire negative is used. And there are a couple of shots at night. One of them, it's a panning shot. And unless you're, we had moviolas, the old moviolas you could barely see. And unless you got the frame line lined up, when you made your cut, you might be cutting a half sprocket into it. Well, I did. And right there it is on the negative. It's so dark nobody can see it, thank God.
Now, there's a beautiful, beautiful atmospheric score to the movie, one of many amazing scores that you've written. In fact, we probably do kind of separate tributes to you as director, as writer, and as composer. Can you talk a little bit about composing the score for the film and how long it kind of took you to get the right kind of melodic framework for it?
Well, the score was recorded in 3 days, so that's as long as it took for me to get it right. The main little theme that you hear, the main title theme, was based on two other pieces. One is the Immigrant Song by
Led Zeppelin.
yeah, and then the score for Dirty Harry, which both use that that kind of thing. So I used that. I was using old tube synthesizers where you had to tune them up before you could play them. Then did a couple piano pieces and we did about 3 or 4 or 5 different pieces of music and then just used them over and over again to film, low budget days.
Now, you also, you came out of film school, you were kind of part of that first generation that really emerged from film school in the late 60s and early 70s. You know, of that generation, the new Hollywood, I guess it's called now. Did you have a sense then, was there a kind of communal sense among the up-and-coming filmmakers that something new was going on and that there were more opportunities than previously?
We all thought so and we all hoped so. But from the group of people I went to school with, as we got into the business, certain realities took hold. It's a tough business to get into for anybody. And very often, the people who are the most talented don't ever get in. They'll get a chance. And that's pretty rough. So I think that we were more idealistic in film school. And some were luckier than others. Some of us are in the right place at the right time, and so forth.
Do we have any questions from the audience for Mr. Carpenter or Mr. Stoker? Yeah, right here. Pat?
Yes, you've mentioned like this film and some of your others being kind of westerns in disguise. Have you ever thought about, have you made an attempt to do the real thing?
No, I haven't. Not yet. I've written a couple of real westerns. You have to clean up all that horse shit after you shot.
Do we have other questions? Yes, right over there.
Yeah, Dark Star, I think is one of the most unsung seminal movies of the last 25 years. And you can see the future of science fiction filmmaking in little bits and pieces throughout it. And Dan O'Bannon also went on from that to a whole career doing things like Alien and Total Recall. Didn't you two ever talk about working together again since making that?
Well, after Dark Star, Dan wanted to be a director. And two directors don't really get along really well. He need one. So he went off and had a great career on his own.
Good. Other questions? Yes, right here.
The formula for Assault is like unique, having all the characters start out differently and then, you know, coming together. But really, it took about 20 years for that to catch on again, like with Guy Ritchie and Quentin Tarantino. Like, do you feel so like you've created these people? Like you've influenced so many modern filmmakers with.
No.
Yes, right there, that gentleman. Stand up.
Maybe this is more of a comment, but a lot of your films have an undercurrent of pulling you towards something, an impending fate, impending doom. And I know you're inspired by previous filmmakers and previous films, but is that more musical? I wonder, because I'm commenting more about Halloween and Escape from New York. I always feel right away I'm being pulled towards something. I don't need a lot of stimuli, quick scenes or whatever. I know, whatever, I'm haunted by it.
I know what you mean, though. I think that may be a worldview of mine. Excuse me. That may be just my own personal view of things. I'm being pulled towards doom. But I agree with you. No, I understand what you're saying. I agree.
And also, wait, one more thing. Okay, sorry. Just this is a comment. You're my hero. You're my
Thank you.
Yes, right here, this gentleman.
Yeah, what kinds of things do you look for while you audition actors?
What do I look for, Austin? What do you think? You go. You tell them, what do producers and directors look to in actors? What's the first thing they want to see?
Well, having never cast a film myself, I think first of all, what you were looking for, you said you looked at other films, so they look to see if the person is able to act. That's number one. And I don't know how they judge whether one can act or not. I think we all make that judgment in different ways. And I think part of it is if they know the person's reputation, they're easy to work with, because you can't be a pain in the ass on set. It costs them money. And I think that basically, those two things are very important. Can you act? And are you a team player?
Well said.
Yes, orange over on the side. Yes, you'd like to stand up?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Exactly how do you win at potatoes?
I seem like I remember how you do that. It's like,
It's like a slipping of a fish, but how do you know who wins?
I can't remember now. It's a little bit like paper, scissors, rock. It's a little bit like that. I can't remember right now. Sorry.
Yes, right here, this gentleman.
I was just wondering, actually, more for Mr. Stoker, that on a recent episode of Angel, as the characters are clamping down in a building surrounded by immeasurable odds, one of the characters looks to the other and says, "How do you feel?" He goes, "I feel like Austin Stoker in Assault on Precinct 13. I don't know if you're aware of that. And
No, somebody said that?
yeah.
I can sue, huh?
Yes, this gentleman over here.
Speaking of casting, Cheney, the police cop, is a wonderful character actor. He was in Babes in Toyland with Laurel and Hardy playing Barnaby, and he was Scar.
He was Scar, yeah, that's Scar.
Sir, how did you run across him, and did you remember anything specifically about him?
I saw his picture in a casting file. I thought, well, I want to hire him immediately. He's great.
How did he work out for you?
He was great.
Thank you.
Yes, over there, the gentleman. Stand.
When I was watching this, I was thinking of Night of the Living Dead. Are you influenced by that?
Everybody who made a low-budget film has been influenced by that. Each and every one of us. We'd be lying if we said we weren't.
Yes, right in the back.
You talked about making a prologue for this film to, I guess, explain the gang behavior, because from what I get, there's so many great what's beyond threads that are never addressed, and it seems like the intention is to just never explain why the gang wants to take this precinct down, just have them shoot it up. Did you ever have trouble with the money people saying, well, why do they do this, and did they want more backstory? And
No, I never had a problem at all, which was odd because no one ever questioned me on it. Maybe they should have. But I wanted to, in those days, I tried to leave a lot more mystery about certain motivations. I was attracted to that when I was a younger filmmaker. I think in Assault and also in Halloween, I try to leave the motivations of the evil characters, let's say the gang or Michael Myers, as sort of a mystery, as more force, incomprehensible. But the more I got into mainstream filmmaking, the less that they're going to allow that, because they want everything spelled out.
Yes, right there. Matt?
I'm a huge fan of the film Starman, and I heard you recorded a commentary with Jeff Bridges, and it's only released in Region 2 DVDs in Europe. Is it ever going to get released here?
I have no idea.
And what about a Christine DVD special edition commentary, maybe?
If they ask me, I'll do it.
Yes, over there.
Right here?
Yes, you.
Okay, well, after They Live, I guess, I always wondered if your previous films had some veiled political commentary. Because They Live just seemed like it had some sort of social political commentary that was pretty fascinating, but, kind of vague at the same time. And I guess I was just wondering about Assault on Precinct 13, if you're trying to make it sort of a subtle commentary.
As far as I'm concerned, Assault is an apolitical film. They Live was a movie made in direct response to my horror at the Reagan years. Nobody had made a movie about that or like that. Nobody, and everything had gone the other direction. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I was this lonely voice in the wilderness. But making political films is kind of a dead-end proposition in a sense. I mean, you really just have to make movies that are hopefully entertaining in some way.
So you really didn't even try to tie that in on some...
Maybe subconsciously, but I'm not really aware of it.
We have time for a couple more over there. Yes, you.
Yeah, I had a question about your music. It seems like in your older films, your music was more keyboard oriented, and then lately you've kind of moving towards a rock guitar thing. I was wondering if there's any influence that led to that?
I don't know if I agree with you entirely. I mean, I would say my last 4 or 5 films, 90% of the music is keyboard oriented.
Oh, really?
You're hearing some of the stuff that we recorded with musicians and me playing guitar, but the majority of the score is still keyboard, still driven by keyboards.
I guess I'm thinking of the stuff that really grabbed me in your more recent soundtracks, like Ghost of Mars, Mouth of Madness, and a couple of pieces from Vampires.
Well, Mouth of Madness, I mean, there's only one piece that's live music, and it's all synthesizer.
Oh.
Which is tricking me.
I think, yes, right there.
tool that, I mean, we didn't have it, when I was a kid, we didn't have it in film school. And it's a way to learn how to direct, and it's a way to make movies without going through the pain of the processing and projecting. I mean, you've really gotten a step up on this. And yeah, I would use it if I was beginning and making a low budget film, but beware, the blow up process from most DV cameras to 35mm looks real bad. And the only way you can get anything approaching film quality is high def. And that costs you an arm, that costs a lot of money to rent the cameras. It's cheaper to rent Panavision cameras than high definition video cameras. So the answer to it is yes. If you're gonna make a low budget movie, make it digital. It's great.
Currently, we're working on, well, actually, it's in the can, basically. My cousin's editing it. So,
Cool.
it kind of has a soap opera quality, though. I mean, in a way, the look of it. It's unique, but.
It's electronic, but that's always going to be that way. Film is chemical process. You understand? You have negative, then you're putting it through a chemical bath, and the lenses are different. But you're talking about electronic process. That's never going to change.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that kind of look appealed to you at all, or.
Sorry.
One or two more. Yes, gentleman right here. Yes.
What I was curious about is that in America, you're considered to be, let's say, an above average genre filmmaker. In France, you're considered to be like a great artist. You know, every time your films come out, Cahiers de Cinema is calling them like sublime and profound. I was curious as to what you thought about this schism between American and French critics.
In France, I'm known, as you said, in America, I'm a bum, okay? Let's get this straight. I'm a bum. I can't make any sense of it, man. I don't think Beverly's crazy, you know? Neither of them are right. But.
I think that's probably a great note to wrap up on. You're going to be here tomorrow for the Thing and to introduce Halloween, and then again on Sunday after Escape from New York. I'd like to thank Austin Stoker for joining us here tonight. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all of you.